Well, we made it to the Francis Marion National Forest in South Carolina, and we are staying this week at the Buck Hall Recreation Area. We had planned to go on a river trip, kayaking, camping, fishing, down a pretty long river in Georgia, but the water levels were a little bit too high, so we had to go to Plan B. Plan B is to stay here at Buck Hall. This will be a little bit different for us because it is car camping. There's a lot of marshlands around here that we can kayak into. So our goal is to get up in some of the marshes and look at the scenery, try to get some pictures of wildlife. Just a short walk, and behind me is the Intracoastal Waterway. And I can tell you that it is windy today. So we've got some oysters down there, and you can see we're white capping in the Intracoastal. We've got the seawall here, and there's a dock down a little bit further. We're going to set up camp just down that way a little bit. There are some hiking trails here, so again, I'll try to hit those in the mornings or evenings and see if we can catch some wildlife. Well, we got camp set up, and we got a camp kitchen in this box that's on top of the picnic table. And then we've got all of our food stuff over here in the shade. We're not going to go fishing tonight or kayaking because the winds are pretty strong. But we have a great view, and we have watched some of the larger boats go by and some sailboats just kind of cruising by a little bit. Hopefully we can get out. Certainly the wind should die down a little bit over the next 3 or 4 days, and we'll get out and do some exploring. But you can see in the marshland right over there, there's a little creek that goes through there. So there's a few places like that that we want to explore.
Well, most of today was driving and getting camp set up. But the wind has died down significantly, so we're going to crash and try to get a good start in the morning.
We are off and running. Just got the kayaks in the water. We had a good blueberry and strawberry pancake breakfast, so we are ready to catch some fish. This is the Intracoastal Waterway. Got a tide in our favor. So we got 4 of us out here today. We have 3 of us on Hobie Lynx kayaks and 1 on a Dragon pedal kayak. And this is its maiden voyage. And I gotta tell you, the no-see-ums are driving us crazy already today. They are just swarming us. All right, we're gonna head down and see if we can find a spot to fish, and maybe see if we can find a few birds or other wildlife along the way. Real pretty out today. We like kayaking up in the marsh areas like this. It's just real peaceful. So we're fishing near the entrance to Bulls Bay. There's some oyster beds around here, a few seagulls, and we're just waiting for tide to go out. The tide is supposed to be low at 1 p.m. today, so it gives us about 2 hours of fishing time here, and then we'll start taking the tide back towards the campground. Can't quite make out the name on it. Oysters have found a nice home underneath there. Missing a windshield and a few other parts. I'm probably not going to go inside. It's been tagged. Not sure what that means. It's another boat that has seen better days. Go get a closer look, see what I see. This is interesting. There's water pouring out of the hull of the boat. So I guess when the tide goes up, the hull fills up. It goes down, the water just slowly comes out. Got Old Glory flying high up there. Reminds me of Johnny Cash's song, Ragged Old Flag. I am in really shallow water, so I'm going to start moving back out again. Well, we had a great morning on the kayak. Not a great morning fishing, but that's okay. I'm going to head back to camp. Well, we're checking out the area. I found this palmetto trailhead, so I thought I'd go for a little walk and kind of see where it goes. The first section of the trail goes through some wetlands, and it's pretty low right now. The Palmetto Trail is a 500-mile trail through South Carolina, and the section that we are on right here, I think it's called the Awendaw Passage, which is 7.1 miles along the coast. Well, we were hoping to go out fishing this afternoon, but as you can tell, the wind is kicking, so we're kind of wind bound at the campsite for a few hours, just hanging out, chilling. The winds have been gusting up to 23 knots, I think is what the Weather Channel said. Watching the traffic go by. It is the end of day 2. I was sitting here getting ready to crash, and I saw a light come up. I went outside. It was actually the moon over the trees. Went out on the kayaks for a few hours today, but after lunch the winds really picked up, over 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So we stayed in after lunch. We cast around a little bit along the seawall, see if there's any fish out there. We got one bite, but it got off before it got over the seawall. All in all, pretty good day. You know, it's if everything was perfect, it wouldn't be an adventure. So we managed to have a good time. The weather should be a little bit better over the next few days, so we'll see how it goes. It is Tuesday morning. Let's hope those winds stay down for a few hours. We're going to grab some breakfast and hit the water. All right, just got on the water from the boat ramp. A little bit later in the day than we wanted, but the tides should be in our favor this time of the morning, between now and noon. But man, could not ask for a better day. Beautiful out. We're just kind of putzing along, just following this shoreline here with all this grass. Man, it looks like a perfect place to catch a trout. We're going to follow this along for a mile or two and see if we can luck into a fish. I was reading online, and it says that when the winds are from the east in this area, that it blows right across Bulls Bay, and it really churns the water up. It makes it really muddy, and it's hard to catch fish. And we've been having the east winds, and as I mentioned before, they were over 20 miles an hour yesterday. I don't know if you can see, the water's pretty muddy, but we're gonna give it a try, see what happens.
Is there a boat over there? No. That looks like a boat.
Just had a bigger boat go by, giving us a little bit of a ride. Here's a sailboat. We have some dolphins swimming by. There's one right there, barely breaking the surface. It's right there. Looks like it might be feeding over there. Just kind of hanging out here with me. They're probably catching more fish than me though. Give me one more time. Come on, there we go. Oh, there's a little baby with them. That's cool. All right, I will leave them be since they have a little one with them. All right, Senor Geezer got a little flounder, about 13 inches. They have to be 16 to keep. But
we'll stretch them a little bit.
First fish in the boat. This is a little bit curious. There's a drainage pipe over there. It looks like it's been closed up. There's this dock here. There is a fake owl mounted to the dock railing over there. Obviously the dock is in a bit of disrepair. But over here you can see the tracks of some type of an excavator. But I can't see anything on the other side of this mound. I'll have to get on Google Maps or Google Earth and see if I can see what's out there. A lot of oysters up on the shell, and I've seen some signs saying protected area in some of the places, so I don't want to go crawling around up there in case it's a sensitive environmental area. But it is curious. We're about 3 hours from low tide, and we're just kind of cruising the shoreline here, checking out these various creeks, grasses, and oyster beds, just exploring and see if we can find a fish and enjoying this beautiful day. Had a big boat go by with a big wake. We'll take it for a ride. Kind of fun riding over these wakes in the kayaks. We have a barge going by with an excavator on it. Actually, they have a couple of excavators on there, being pushed by some type of a little tug. Pretty amazing that they can carry around this big equipment, get out here and do this work. We've seen a few bait fish along the way, but we have not had much luck fishing. But you can't beat the scenery. Just being out here is good enough. Not much fishing with the tide being so low, but the good thing is with this breeze, the no-see-ums are now absent. They were bad this morning, just swarming around our heads. As wind picked up, it was much more tolerable. You might be able to see the flags blowing in the wind, give you some idea how strong the wind is here today. Dead calm this morning, but it's been picking up as we got closer and closer to lunchtime. Well, it's about 7:22. The temperature is not bad, it's 67 degrees, but the wind, it's actually died down a little bit. It was up over 20 miles an hour earlier today. It's probably down to 10 or 12 right now. Look at that moon coming up. We're having full moon tonight. We're real close to it if it's not a full moon. But we just had dinner and just getting cleaned up. Made a few casts along the seawall here. See if we could pick up anything, but so far not much luck. All right, another day is in the books. We watched the moon come up a little while ago. So tomorrow morning we'll get up, have breakfast, and get back out on the kayaks and see if we can catch a fish while the winds are down. There is something just wonderful about sleeping outside. You can hear the owls at night. We had some coyotes go by in the distance and they were screaming and howling. It was fun to listen to for a few minutes. And then as the sun starts to peek over the horizon, the birds come out and start chirping and you get to wake up to the music of nature. Let's go start cooking breakfast. We got the breakfast scramble going again this morning. Potatoes, 2 types of sausages, peppers, onions, scrambled eggs coming. It's going to be a feast. What's the verdict?
Delicious. Love it.
Got to get the mosquito nets off of your eggs.
Good.
It's a feast.
Very good. Thank you.
Here we go, loading them up.
I was kidding. Right there.
Simple. Look at that. Okay, we are on the water, and there's not much of a breeze today, which is partially good, but I don't know if you can see the cloud of no-see-ums around, so that's why I've got them covered up pretty good, keep the bugs off me. But we're gonna work our way up to Bulls Bay today, and we've got about 5 and a half, maybe 5 hours and 45 minutes to low tide, so we'll be fishing the outgoing tide all day today. And normally we like to fish either side of the tide. You know, it gets slack tide around the high tide and low tide, but if you get an hour away from those two times, the tide moves pretty well and the fishing should be okay. So we've got about 5 hours of traveling and fishing ahead of us today. New spot, see if we can catch a fish. This never gets old. Just being out on the water, kayaks are nice and quiet. It is just a beautiful morning. It's about 9 o'clock. That is the entrance to Bulls Bay. So we're almost there and we'll start looking for some fish. See a dolphin over between us and the shoreline. See if he will be nice enough to make another appearance. Right here. Hopefully I got that on camera. Oops, like right under me. Not sure where they went. Maybe we spooked them. Or maybe they were trying to spook me out of the way. I came over here to fish this point, and there's another dolphin over here. I mean, I like seeing the dolphins, but they don't do much to help the fishing. There's quite a few of them around. We've seen a couple different pods. They just surfaced up there in front of me. There we go. A couple of them over there. One of the pods had a young one with them. I did not get that on film. But there's two of them just kind of hanging out there. They don't look like they're feeding. So I'm just going to skirt the shoreline here and see if I can avoid the dolphins. Well, they say the fishing is best when the pelicans are feeding. Yeah. Well, we picked this area because we've got some grasslands along the shoreline, and then just out from shore we've got these oyster beds. There's one there, there's one over there, a few further down. So we thought we would try a couple of different environments, different depths, and spend our day fishing. Well, I have something big on, and I don't know what it is. He's been taking drag for about 5 minutes now. It does not want to come up. He's going to run. Oh, there he goes. I have no idea what this is. I'm guessing it's a shark. I don't really want to pull a big old shark up on my kayak. Oh, oh, it's a huge red! Huge red! Oh my gosh! That thing must be 3 feet long. Oh my gosh. I don't have a net that big. This guy is enormous. Oh my gosh, he's enormous. I don't know if I can get him in the boat with this little pole. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Oh my gosh. I think one of us is tiring out. He's sitting on the bottom. That thing's got to weigh 30 pounds. Oh my gosh. He's gonna have to get tuckered out before I get him in the boat. Hopefully my line will hold on. I cannot believe the size of this thing. Big old fish. He's getting tired. Come on. Come on over here. Come on. A few more minutes maybe. Come on. Come on. Oh, so close. Holy moly! Well, catching that redfish was certainly a thrill for me. I was able to release it back into the water. I watched him swim away, which was also exciting. I am not a great fisherman by any stretch of the imagination, but I will share with you the gear I was using. This is not advice. It's just happened to be what I was using at the time. I am not brand loyal, but I was using this Penn Fierce 3 2500 reel. It has 12-pound braid on it, and I was using a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. I was using this 1/8 ounce jig head. and I was using this swim bait. And this swim bait is a Z-Man minnows. The color is red bone, and it is 3 inches long. So again, not a recommendation, just what I happened to be using at the time. Catching that redfish was certainly a thrill for me, and I hope you enjoyed it as well.
And there is another dolphin over here. We have seen so many dolphins today. They're all over the place. Saw some feeding earlier. I did not get on video, it was too far away, but they were chasing fish up along the shoreline. I came over here to fish this point because I saw the birds flying around, and all I find is dolphins right there in front of me. Yet another day where we had a beautiful morning, and you can see from the flags the wind is kicking, but we're almost back at the boat launch. We'll get things put away and have some lunch. Well, here we have the Wednesday night moonrise. Pelican out there fishing. Wind is still kicking, but it should die down a little bit more here in the next half an hour as the sun sets. And I'm gonna call it a night. All right, closing down Wednesday. Pretty good day. You know, the morning was beautiful. We were out there maybe 4 or 5 hours today. We caught 2 small trout, undersized, and the 1 big redfish, which was a blast. And we saw some wildlife today. We saw some dolphins. There are a lot of dolphins out there today. I saw a turtle pop his head up a couple of times today. That was kind of cool. Just maybe 20 or 25 feet from the kayak. And of course, a variety of birds around. But we have a full moon tonight. Got a shot of that a few minutes ago. We're gonna give it another run tomorrow morning. Thursday morning, and it's about a carbon copy of every other morning. It's just beautiful out. And we packed a couple of sandwiches to take out today because high tide is getting later in the day. It's not going to be high tide till after 2 o'clock today. So we may stay out a little bit longer if the wind will allow it. But we've had breakfast, we're packing up, and we're going to head down to the boat ramp. It's about an hour paddle out here to the bay from the campsite or the boat launch. But as you can see, there's some ripples on the water. It's a little bit windier today than it has been over the last few days for the morning. Hopefully, that doesn't mean it's going to be worse after lunch. We're almost to the fishing grounds, so we'll see if we can maybe catch at least 1 fish that's a keeper that we can have for dinner tonight. So we have this chop out here today. The water's pretty muddy. The lure there disappears, 5-6 inches under the water. You can't see it anymore. I don't know if we're going to have much luck today or not. The tide started going out about 30 minutes ago, so we like to fish when the tide is moving. So hopefully in the next hour we'll get some good tidal movement, and maybe that'll wake the fish up a little bit. So we've seen several areas where there's an ingress into the marshlands that looks remarkably man-made, and we weren't sure what it was, but then we saw a guy up in there digging and asked if he was digging for bait, He said no, he was digging for clams, that he actually had a clam lease. And so we found that interesting. He was in there up to his hips, digging around in the mud, looking for clams. Well, I'm not exactly sure how I did it, but I foul hooked a stingray, got him right in the wing. Thing must have been 2.5 feet across, and he fought hard. And I was lucky there's a beach area not too far away, so I was able to kayak up to the beach area, get on shore and pull him up and get him off safely without him being hurt and running away with a hook in him, and without me getting a barb in me from that stingray. So stingray was released back into the wild unharmed, just a little bit tired, and honestly I was a little bit tired too. That was a pretty good fight. But it has been a slow day fishing. That's about all the excitement we've had. So we're working our way back towards the boat ramp. We'll make a few casts along the way, but we're not too optimistic. Well, it's our last night here, and the wind is not as bad tonight as it has been in the previous nights, but the no-see-ums are eating us alive. And it's just going to get worse as the winds die down and the sun goes down. So we're probably just going to duck into the tents early tonight and start getting everything packed up and ready to go. We are leaving in the morning after breakfast. But here's a shot of the campground. It's nice. The bathrooms are acceptable and it's been quiet. The spaces have some distance between them. They've got this whole area down here past our campsite that is just open for walking. There's some benches along the seawall over there. It's been a good stay. We would have liked to have caught more fish, but that's a pretty typical story with us. We go fishing a lot, we don't catch a lot of fish. That's okay, we still have a good time. Well, we got here Sunday afternoon. It is now Friday morning. Camp is all cleaned up. Watching one last sunrise come up over the water on a beautiful calm day. We are packed up and I'm on my way back to Florida. So not the best week fishing. I think between the four of us fishing Monday through Thursday, we caught 4 fish. 2 undersized trout and 1 undersized flounder, and then of course the big behemoth redfish, which was quite enjoyable. I guess you could count the stingray. It was fun to catch until I saw what it was. We got some good paddling in, got some exercise, some good fresh air, and this is another adventure in the books.